Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum and welcome back in lecture number 29. And let's have a look what did we study in our previous lecture. In fact, we covered the second part of our chapter number 15 and we covered the following topics, that is firm's weighted average cost of capital and understand its rational use and limitation. And also we covered the topic of concept of economic value addition, and it is related to value creation and the firm's cost of capital. And also we try to understand the capital asset pricing model and its role in computing project specific and group specific required rates of return. And based on these required rates of return, we tried and we did some adjustments to make the cost of capital for that particular project which is acceptable for the firm. And when the project is acceptable, firm can proceed to invest into that project and raise financing for that project. और आज हम चैप्टर नंबर 3 को रिवाइज करेंगे और इसके बाद हम चैप्टर नंबर 4 को रिवाइज करेंगे और इसी सीक्वेंस में हमने चैप्टर 5 जिसको स्किप किया था हम उसको स्टडी करेंगे। और जो पहले 15 चैप्टर हैं of the fundamentals of financial management by Van Horn, it is part of your course. और चैप्टर नंबर 15 में हमने प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं किए थे, दैट इज़ नॉट पार्ट ऑफ योर कोर्स। आप खुद से उसकी प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं जैसा कि मैंने पिछले लेक्चर में भी मेंशन किया था। एंड टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस द कंसेप्ट ऑफ टाइम वैल्यू ऑफ मनी। ब्रीफली वी विल बी टचिंग ऑल द कॉन्सेप्ट्स एंड एट द एंड हम इसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स जो हैं वो सॉल्व करेंगे। So first let's introduce with the concept of interest rate. Would you prefer 10,000 rupees today or 10,000 rupees after 5 years? So definitely we will be preferring to have 10,000 rupees today instead of having them after 5 years. तो इसमें जो आपकी जो preference है that actually accounts for the time value of money. अगर आपको आज 10,000 rupees ऑफर किए जा रहे हैं and against that 10,000 आज की बजाय अगर आपको 15,000 या 20,000 आफ्टर सम नंबर ऑफ इयर्स आपको ऑफर किए जाएं तो देन यू माइट थिंक ऑफ रिसीविंग देम आफ्टर दैट टाइम पीरियड। सो दिस इज नोन एज द टाइम वैल्यू ऑफ मनी कॉन्सेप्ट। एंड देन टू इंक्रीज द वैल्यू आफ्टर सर्टेन नंबर ऑफ ईयर्स आप इसमें जो डिफरेंट वैल्यू एडिशन टूल्स यूज करते हैं वी कॉल देम एज इंटरेस्ट रेट। इट मे बी अ सिंपल इंटरेस्ट रेट एंड a compound interest rate. And when we talk of simple interest rate it means कि जो principal amount है हर पीरियड में उसी के ऊपर एक इंटरेस्ट रेट जो है वो अप्लाई किया जाए। एंड फॉर द कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट इट मीन्स कि आपकी जो प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट है जिसके ऊपर इंटरेस्ट अर्न कर रहे हैं आप उसके ऊपर आपने जो इंटरेस्ट अर्न किया है नेक्स्ट पीरियड में उस इंटरेस्ट अर्न के ऊपर भी आप इंटरेस्ट अर्न करें। सो दैट विल बी नोन एज कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट। अब इसकी एग्जांपल आप ऐसे देख सकते हैं, इन केस ऑफ सिंपल इंटरेस्ट द फ्यूचर वैल्यू इज प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट विच इज डिनोटेड एज पी नॉट प्लस द सिंपल इंटरेस्ट जो आपने उसके ऊपर इंटरेस्ट अर्न किया। फॉर एग्जांपल अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट है 16% तो ऑन एन अमाउंट ऑफ $100 फ्यूचर वैल्यू एक साल के बाद या एक पीरियड के बाद दैट विल बी $116। और अगर आप इसको प्लॉट करें सिंपल इंटरेस्ट को और कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट को तो यू कैन सी हियर के एज द नंबर ऑफ इयर्स दे पास बाय तो उसमें कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट में जो अर्निंग है दैट इज मच मोर देन द सिंपल इंटरेस्ट अर्निंग। फॉर एग्जांपल इन दिस केस जहां इफ यू स्टार्टेड विद $100,000 एज एन इनिशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट तो उसमें आप यू कैन सी हियर एज द नंबर ऑफ ईयर्स दे पास बाय तो उसके अंदर जो डिफरेंस है जो गैप है बिटवीन द कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट अर्निंग और सिंपल इंटरेस्ट अर्निंग वो ज़्यादा होता चला जाता है। और कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट के लिए जो हम फार्मूला डिटरमिन करेंगे दैट विल बी यू कैन सी हियर कि फ्यूचर वैल्यू इन द फर्स्ट ईयर इट बिकम्स प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट इंटरेस्टेड प्लस द इंटरेस्ट अर्नड ऑन इट। तो आप इसको ऐसे भी देख सकते हैं प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट इंटरेस्टेड प्लस इंटरेस्ट अर्नड ऑन द प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट एंड यू कैन राइट इट जिसको हमने पिछले इधर डिनोट किया हुआ है दैट इज 1 + I। अब जो नेक्स्ट ईयर है वो इस अमाउंट के ऊपर इंटरेस्ट जो है वो अप्लाई होगा तो देन वी हैव एन इंटरेस्ट अगेन ऑन दिस अमाउंट So then these two things will be multiplied and we have a value equal to 2 for that. That will be squared. Or we can generalize this formula for n number of periods. अगर आपके पास future value आपने determine करनी हो for any number of periods, you can have this formula for compound interest के principal amount that is invested plus 1 plus I with power n. n means any number of years. और इसके लिए हमारे पास अपेंडिक्स में जो टेबल्स अवेलेबल हैं टू डिटरमिन द फ्यूचर वैल्यू इंटरेस्ट फैक्टर, उसमें विद आई इंटरेस्ट रेट फॉर एन नंबर ऑफ पीरियड्स, टेबल 1 इज अवेलेबल. So you can simply use that table 1 instead of calculating on your calculator. आप table 1 पे जाके for that particular interest rate or for that time period you can directly calculate that future value interest factor and you multiply it with the principal amount invested. And this is the table 1. For example, at 7% rate for 7 years, if you want to calculate it, you take an intersection of these two figures. So you can see here 1.601 and you multiply it with your principal amount invested and you will get the future value after 7 years at 7% interest rate. And then there is a rule to double your money. For example, आपने आज जो डिपॉजिट की है अमाउंट, सपोज इन दिस केस $10,000, उसको 10% इंटरेस्ट रेट पे कितने टाइम में आप उसको डबल कर सकते हैं. वी हैव द रूल ऑफ 72. सो वी कैन यूज द रूल टू हैव एन एस्टिमेट कि उसमें कितने टाइम के बाद जो इनिशियल डिपॉजिट है इट विल बिकम डबल यूजिंग द कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट रेट. सो यू कैन सी हियर द फार्मूला इज अप्रॉक्सीमेट पीरियड्स टू डबल इनटू द interest rate is equal to 72, and if you put the values here you can get the approximate period to double the investment or the initial deposit is equal to 72 divided by 10% and you have 7.2 years. So this is an approximation. If you calculate it exactly it may be 7.23, 7.19, something like that. और इस अभी हमने जो डिस्कस किया that was the present future value of your deposit or your amount of cash flow. अब इसमें हमने जो प्रेजेंट वैल्यू अगर डिटरमिन करनी हो तो उसके लिए फार्मूला भी हम उसी इक्वेशन से डिराइव कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल द फ्यूचर वैल्यू इन द फर्स्ट ईयर इज दिस एंड देन फ्यूचर वैल्यू फॉर द सेकंड ईयर वुड बिकम द फ्यूचर वैल्यू ऑफ द फर्स्ट ईयर इनटू द इंटरेस्ट in the second year, and we have this for the second year, and we can generalize it to n number of years. The future value after n periods is equal to the principal amount invested into 1 plus I with power n. So you can, from this, if we rearrange this equation, we can get the present value that will be equal to the future value after n number of periods divided by 1 plus I with power n. So we can rewrite it, and for this part we have the calculations given at the table 2. जब हमने किसी भी सिंगल सम के लिए जो फ्यूचर प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फाइंड आउट करनी हो तो वी कैन यूज टेबल 2, दैट इज फ्यूचर वैल्यू इंटरेस्ट फैक्टर विद इंटरेस्ट रेट आई फॉर n number of periods. And this is what we just discussed, that you can use this formula to calculate it, the amount from the table 2. और इसमें टेबल 2 is given like this. फॉर एग्जांपल आपने प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फाइंड आउट करनी है किसी फ्यूचर अमाउंट की, तो इन दैट केस अगर रेट आपके पास सपोज 7% है और नंबर ऑफ ईयर्स 10 ईयर्स हैं, तो यू कैन go to the cross section of these values and you have a multiplier as 0.508. So you multiply it with your future value and you get your present value. And then the concept of annuities. Annuity means the payments after regular intervals, equally divided intervals. इसमें दो टाइप्स की एनुइटीज होती हैं, एनुइटी ऑर्डिनरी एनुइटी और एनुइटी ड्यू. एन एनुइटी इज अ सीरीज ऑफ इक्वल पेमेंट्स और रिसीट्स. ये जो एनुइटीज हैं दे कैन बी पेमेंट और दे कैन बी अ रिसीट, सो वी कॉल देम एज द कैश फ्लोज. सो वी विल डिनोट देम एज आर इन आवर कैलकुलेशंस, एंड यू कैन सी हियर the amount, they are equal and they are being paid or received after equal time intervals. इसमें time period जो है they should also be equal. And for example, the deposit or receipt of 1000 rupees annually for the next 10 years. So this is an annuity. And there are two types of annuities. They are ordinary annuity and annuity due. Ordinary annuity means the cash flows they are occurring at the end of the period, और annuity due में cash flows they occur at the beginning of the period. Suppose the financial period starts from 1st of January and it ends on 31st of December. अगर तो cash flows they are occurring on 31st of December every year, it means it is an ordinary annuity because it is occurring at the end of the year. और अगर cash flows they are occurring at 1st of January in the beginning of the period, in that case this is an annuity due. इसकी example जो हैं they are student loan payments, car loan payments, insurance premiums, mortgage payments, retirement savings. So in all these cases, an equal amount of payment is made at a regular interval. So they are the forms of annuities. अब इसकी आप time scale पे अगर आप draw करें तो you can see here an ordinary annuity, the cash flow occurs at the end of the period for any number of periods. It can be for an infinite number of period or it can be for any number of period. और annuity due जो है that is occurring at the beginning of the period. You can see here start of the period and then start of the next periods. और जब हम इसकी फ्यूचर वैल्यू डिटरमिन करेंगे, फॉर एग्जांपल इन केस ऑफ ऑर्डिनरी एन्युटी, तो हमने जो पेमेंट की है एट द एंड ऑफ फर्स्ट ईयर और जो कैश फ्लो अकर हुआ है दैट इज एन आर द पीरियोडिक कैश फ्लो इन द फर्स्ट सेकंड एंड अप टू एन नंबर ऑफ पीरियड्स, उन सब की आप फ्यूचर वैल्यू डिटरमिन करोगे एट nth टाइम, and that will make the future value of an ordinary annuity. And you can write it like this, कि for the first cash flow that is occurring at the end of first year, it means कि उसमें जो total number of periods involved हैं for the future value at nth period, they are n-1 because इसमें जो पहले साल का time है that is not included here. And you can see here for the second year it will become n-2, and for all the next years it will go to take this shape. For example, a cash flow which occurs at the last period, it will have the same value, that is r into 1 plus I with power 0 is equal to r into 1. It means it will have the same value, और उसके बाद बाकी सारे कैश फ्लोज के लिए will have different present future values. Or if you look at for example, for a cash flow of 1000 occurring at the end of every year for 3 years, so in that case you can see the third year cash flow will have the future value as it is, और उसके बाद second year का जो cash flow है it will have a future value with n with the power 3 minus 2 with the multiplier of 1 plus I with the power of 3 minus 2. So इसमें एक साल के लिए उसमें इंटरेस्ट अप्लाई होगा, एंड देन फॉर दिस कैश फ्लो इसमें दो टाइम पीरियड्स इन्वॉल्व हैं, दैट इज फ्रॉम फर्स्ट टू सेकंड ईयर एंड देन सेकंड टू थर्ड ईयर. तो देन यू विल कैलकुलेट द फ्यूचर वैल्यू फॉर दैट कैश फ्लो एंड यू एड देम अप एंड यू हैव 3215. अब आप इसको टेबल फ्यूचर वैल्यू के लिए आप टेबल भी यूज कर सकते हैं फॉर एन ऑर्डिनरी एन्युटी. इसका टेबल है टेबल 3, एंड फॉर 7% for 3 number of periods you have a multiplier, that is future value interest factor, it is equal to 3.215, and you multiply it with 1000, you get the same answer. Or future value of an annuity due, in this case you can see that cash flows this occur in the beginning of the year. So in this case हमारे पास जो आखिरी period है that is period n, we don't have any cash flow. So in that case the first cash flow, that is R, will earn an interest rate, a compound interest, and we multiply it with 1 plus I with power n, क्योंकि इसने सारे number of periods के लिए interest earn किया है, and then for every next cash flow we will reduce the number of periods, that is n-1 and n-2 until we reach n minus n. So we add all the cash flows with the interest earned for the remaining number of time periods, and then we have the future value of an annuity into 1 plus I. अब इसमें आपने जो चीज़ रिमेंबर करनी है दैट इज़ कि इसकी जो फ्यूचर वैल्यू हम डिटरमिन करेंगे दैट विल बी सेम एज फ्यूचर वैल्यू ऑफ ऑर्डिनरी एन्युटी, लेकिन इसमें एक टाइम पीरियड, एक इंटरवल एन्युटी ऑर्डिनरी एन्युटी से ज़्यादा है. फॉर दैट टाइम इंटरवल वी मल्टीप्लाई इट विद 1 प्लस आई, यानी हम इस सारे कैश फ्लोज की जो फ्यूचर वैल्यू डिटरमिन करेंगे उसके ऊपर एक साल का मजीद इंटरेस्ट अप्लाई करेंगे इफ़ वी यूज़ द फ्यूचर वैल्यू ऑफ एन ऑर्डिनरी एन्युटी. सो यू कैन सी कि अगर हम इंडिविजुअली कैलकुलेट करें फॉर अ कैश फ्लो अकरिंग एट टाइम 0, वी विल calculate the future value, and then for the second cash flow, and then for the third cash flow, and we have this future value for an annuity due. And then if we use the table 3, then we will calculate the future value of ordinary annuity, and then we multiply it with one extra period, that is it will earn for one extra period the interest rate. So we have, if you look at the table for an ordinary annuity, you can see here the future value interest factor with interest rate I with n number of periods, that is पीरियड इसमें 3 हैं और इसमें इंटरेस्ट रेट है 7%, और इसको हम अगेन वी विल मल्टीप्लाई इट विद 1.07 क्योंकि हमने टेबल 3 जो यूज़ किया है दैट इज़ फॉर ऑर्डिनरी एन्युटी, और इसको अगर हम मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे एक साल के इंटरेस्ट के साथ, जब हम इसमें एक साल का इंटरेस्ट ऐड करेंगे ओनली देन इट विल बिकम द फ्यूचर वैल्यू ऑफ एन एन्युटी ड्यू. सो you can solve it again the same way. Up till here it is ordinary annuity, and then we add interest for one remaining period, then it becomes the future value of an annuity due. And now we discuss the present value of annuities. So first, an ordinary annuity. So you can see the cash flows, they occur at the end of every year in case of annuity, ordinary annuity. तो जो कैश फ्लोज एट द एंड ऑफ पीरियड्स अकर हो रहे हैं वी विल डिटरमिन देयर प्रेजेंट वैल्यू. हम इन कैश फ्लोज को इंडिविजुअली भी कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. यू कैन सी हियर द कैश फ्लोज ऑफ $1,000 एट 7% रेट, वी कैलकुलेट देयर प्रेजेंट वैल्यू. फॉर फर्स्ट कैश फ्लो वी हैव द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू हियर, एंड देन फॉर द सेकेंड कैश फ्लो for 2 years, and then for the third cash flow we calculate using this formula, and we get the present value of an ordinary annuity equal to 2,624. और अगर हम टेबल 4 को यूज़ करें so then we will use the 7% interest rate for 3 number of years or 3 periods, और उसमें हमारे पास जो प्रेजेंट वैल्यू इंटरेस्ट फैक्टर आएगा फॉर एन ऑर्डिनरी एन्युटी दैट इज़ 2.624. इसको हम अपने कैश फ्लो के साथ मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे, एंड देन यू विल गेट a figure which is same as we calculated for an individual cash flows. So it is 2,624. And now we will calculate the present value of an annuity due. हम इसमें जो कैश फ्लोज हो रहे हैं starting from the period that time t is equal to 0, and then for n number of periods. So because हमने इसको स्टार्ट किया है फ्रॉम 0, so then we take it as n-1 as the last time period. So you can see here when we calculate the present value, so the first cash flow है that remains as it is because anything with power 0 is equal to 1, so r divided by 1 is r. So you can see the present value of the first cash flow is same as it is, and then we take the discount all the future values with the discount rate towards the present value, and you can see here the formula becomes like this: the present value of an annuity due into 1 plus I. This will be the present value of an annuity due. अब हमने इसको 1 plus I से क्यों मल्टीप्लाई किया है? बिकॉज कि हमने जो प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फॉर ऑर्डिनरी एन्युटी डिटरमिन की थी उसमें हर कैश फ्लो जो था दैट वाज डिस्काउंटेड बैक टू पीरियड टाइम t इक्वल टू 0। अब इसमें ऑलरेडी पहला कैश फ्लो जो है वो 0 पे मौजूद है, दैट इज एट टाइम इज इक्वल टू 0। अब हमने उस कैश फ्लो को न्यूट्रलाइज करने के लिए हम इसको मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे विद 1 प्लस आई, एंड देन वी विल यूज द सेम टेबल दैट इज टेबल 4। हम उसमें प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फॉर एन्युटी ड्यू कैलकुलेट करने के लिए प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ एन ऑर्डिनरी एन्युटी का जो इंटरेस्ट फैक्टर है वो डिटरमिन करके इसके बाद इसको मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे विद 1 प्लस आई एंड वी विल गेट द प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ एन एन्युटी ड्यू। सो यू कैन सी हियर, अगर हम इसको इंडिविजुअली सॉल्व करें तो पहले साल का कैश फ्लो विल रिमेन एज इट इज, देन द फर्स्ट ईयर द कैश फ्लो that is the second cash flow, in fact it will become like this, will be discounted for 1 year, और जो second year का cash flow है that will be discounted for 2 years, and we will have the present value of an annuity due which is equal to 2808। और जब हम इसको टेबल 4 यूज करके सॉल्व करेंगे तो वी विल हैव द इंटरेस्ट रेट इक्वल टू 7% एंड वी सॉल्व इट फॉर 3 years or for 3 periods। So we will calculate it by multiplying that R, that is $1,000 every year. Then we will use the present value interest factor of ordinary annuity and we multiply it with 1 plus I, that is 1.07। So we will have the same figure as we calculated for solving for every individual cash flow. So it is 2808। And what are the steps to solve the time value of money problem? First of all, you have to read the problems very much carefully। उसमें आपने identify करना है कि cash flows कब occur हो रहे हैं, they are an ordinary annuity, they are an annuity due, या they are the single cash flows which are different from each other। And then you will create a timeline। It is better कि आप उसको cash flows को timeline पे draw कर लें, that will give you a better idea, and then put cash flows and arrows on the timeline। अब आपने उन कैश फ्लोज को अगर प्रेजेंट वैल्यू पे लेके आना है देन मेक एरोज फॉर दैट, और आपको आइडिया हो जाएगा कि आपने उसमें कितने ईयर के लिए उसको डिस्काउंट करना है, या अगर फ्यूचर वैल्यू फाइंड आउट करनी है तो इन दैट केस आल्सो यू विल हैव एन आइडिया कि आपने उसको कितने अरसे के लिए उसमें इंटरेस्ट रेट जो है वो कंपाउंड करना है या सिंपल इंटरेस्ट ऐड करना है। एंड देन डिटरमिन वेदर द प्रॉब्लम इज अ प्रेजेंट वैल्यू प्रॉब्लम और अ फ्यूचर वैल्यू प्रॉब्लम, and then determine if solution involves single cash flow, annuity or a mixed flow, and then solve the problem using interest factor table 1, 2, 3 and 4। and when you have cash flows तो उसमें cash flows different types के हो सकते हैं। there can be a mixed cash flows, आप उसको separate कर सकते हो annuity बनाने के लिए, या आप उनको phases में solve कर सकते हो। for example अगर आपके पास cash flows जो हैं वो they are like this, the interest rate is given as 10% which we call as discount rate also when we are going to determine the present value। तो उसमें जो cash flow है that for the first year is 600, for the second year is again, so you can see it is an annuity up to second year, और उसके बाद third year में और fourth year में again the same cash flow is occurring, and then fifth year डिफरेंट कैश फ्लो इज अकरिंग। सो हम इसको डिफरेंट तरीके से सॉल्व कर सकते हैं। एक तरीका ये है कि हम इंडिविजुअल कैश फ्लो को डिस्काउंट करें यूजिंग द डिस्काउंट रेट और उसकी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फाइंड कर लें, या हम उनको डिफरेंट फेजेस में या डिफरेंट क्लासिफिकेशन कर दें उसकी कैश फ्लोज की, और उसको एन्युटीज़ में या सिंगल सम कैश फ्लोज में डिवाइड करके उनकी अलग-अलग प्रेजेंट वैल्यू जो है वो फाइंड आउट कर लें। अब एंड यू कैन सी हियर अगर हम उसको पीस एट अ टाइम फॉर इंडिविजुअल कैश फ्लो हम प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फाइंड आउट करें तो वी हैव दिस आंसर हियर, एंड देन वी कैन डू इट लाइक दिस। हम पहले दो कैश फ्लोज को वी डील देम एज एन एन्युटी, they are occurring at the end of the year। So you can see here it will be a case of ordinary annuity, and we can solve it like present value interest factor at 10% for 2 years। हम इससे multiply करेंगे cash flow को 600 को, and you can find out this present value, and then for the next 2 cash flows that is $400 for the third and fourth year। Now we'll bring them back to the second year। इस लेवल पे हम उनकी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फाइंड आउट करेंगे ट्रीटिंग देम एज एन एन्युटी फॉर द नेक्स्ट 2 years, एंड देन हम इस सेकंड ईयर से इसको वी विल ब्रिंग इट बैक टू टाइम t इक्वल टू 0, हम उसकी यहाँ पे आके ये एक सिंगल सम हो जाएगा। हम इसकी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फाइंड करेंगे यूजिंग टेबल 2, और फर्स्ट वी विल यूज टेबल 4 and then from this point to this point we will use the table 2. So you can see here, for a cash flow of 400 we will be using present value interest factor of an ordinary annuity at 10% for 2 years, or then we bring it back to the second year, and then from the second year we will bring it back to the present year, present time. And for the next step we will multiply it using the table 2, that present value interest factor for 10% for 2 years. So you can see here, for a cash flow of 400, we will use table 4 for the annuity, and we will use the table 2 for the single sum, and we have this present value. And then for the 5th year we discount it for the 5 years and we calculate this value. अब इसका एक और मेथड ये है कि हम इन कैश फ्लोज को डिवाइड कर लें in our convenience. For example, first 2 years cash flow they are 600, and the second 2 years cash flow they are 400 each. अब हम 600 को डिवाइड करते हैं 4 और 2 में, then you can see here कि for the first 4 years the cash flow is $400 each, and this takes the form of an ordinary annuity. और हमने 600 को स्प्लिट किया है 4 और 2 में, then for the 2 years it becomes an ordinary annuity with a cash flow of 200 each, और third cash flow it is happening at the end of 5 year which is $100, and it is a single sum. अब हम इसको using an ordinary ordinary annuity कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं, इसकी present value which is equal to this amount, और इसी तरह से $200 कैश फ्लो की हम इसको 2 इयर्स के लिए इसकी ऑर्डिनरी एन्युटी का फार्मूला टेबल 4 यूज़ करके सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, और फाइनल जो कैश फ्लो है दैट इज़ हैपनिंग एट द एंड ऑफ 5th ईयर, उसकी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू हम फाइंड आउट करके इनको ऐड करेंगे, देन वी विल हैव द सेम प्रेजेंट वैल्यू एज वी कैलकुलेटेड in the previous methods. The next important topic is the frequency of compounding. अब इसमें जो कंपाउंडिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी है, आम तौर पे जो रेट्स गिवन होते हैं दे आर एनुअल रेट्स. फॉर एग्जांपल प्रीवियस एग्जांपल्स में 7%, 10% जो रेट गिवन थे दे वर द एनुअल रेट्स. अब हम इसको जब डिस्काउंट करते हैं या फ्यूचर वैल्यू फाइंड आउट करते हैं तो उसकी कंपाउंडिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी, यानी हम एनुअल रेट को अगर कंपाउंड करें सेमी एनुअली, इट मीन्स कि हमने अगर 10% इंटरेस्ट रेट है एनुअल, तो उसका जो सेमी एनुअल इंटरेस्ट रेट होगा दैट विल बिकम 5% फॉर बोथ 6 months. एंड देन अगर हम उसको मंथली रेट फाइंड आउट करेंगे, हम उसको मंथली कंपाउंड करेंगे, देन वी विल हैव एन इंटरेस्ट रेट इक्वल टू 10% डिवाइडेड बाई 12. और उसी तरह से उसका जो नंबर ऑफ पीरियड्स हैं जिसको हम n से डिनोट करते हैं वाइल डिटर्मिनिंग द फ्यूचर वैल्यू, जिसको हम उसमें भी इंटरवल जो है उसको इंक्रीज कर देंगे. इन केस ऑफ सेमी एनुअल दे विल बिकम 2, इन केस ऑफ quarterly they will become 4, and in case of monthly compounding they will become 12. And then we have this general formula to determine the future value for different frequency of compounding. You can see here the future value after n number of periods would become present value PV at 0 into 1 plus I over m. आई जिसको हमने इंटरेस्ट रेट एनुअल इंटरेस्ट रेट, और उसको डिवाइड करेंगे विद द नंबर ऑफ पीरियड्स जिसमें हमने उसको कंपाउंड करना है. अगर साल में 2 दफ़ा कंपाउंड करना है बाई सेमी एनुअली, इट मीन्स कि m इज इक्वल टू 2, और उसी तरह से उसका जो कंपाउंडिंग पीरियड्स होंगे वो भी इंक्रीज कर जाएंगे. एंड वी कैन सी द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ कंपाउंडिंग. एनुअल अगर हमारे पास एक डिपॉजिट है 100,000 and it is invested for 10 years at an interest rate of 10%, अगर इसको annually compound किया जाए तो it would become like this, that is 1 plus I over 1 whole power 1 into 10. और अगर इसको हम semi annually compound करेंगे तो it will become like this. Number of periods will also increase, and you can see here the amount is increasing with every compounding frequency. So by solving for different frequencies, quarterly, monthly and daily, you can see the effect कि with the increased frequency the future value increases. और straight line method में simple interest अगर आप use करें तो it becomes like this. और अगर हम इनका effective annual rate determine करें तो it means कि हमने principal amount के ऊपर जो total earning की हैं, then we determine the annual interest rate based on that information, and we use this formula for effective annual rate, that is 1 plus periodic rate with m, that is the number of periods, minus 1. So we use this formula to calculate the effective annual rate, and you can see here for a deposit of 100,000 with different frequencies, that is annual here, semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, daily, and for simple interest. So you can see the profits earned here after 10 years. These are the profits, and if you calculate the yield based on these profits, so you can see this is the yield for the first annual year, that is for the annual rate, that is 10%, and if you increase the frequency, then the effective annual rate would become 10.25%, and likewise you can see here for the daily compounding it becomes 10.52, and for the simple interest, if you compound them, if you calculate the effective annual rate using the compound interest, it effectively becomes 7.18%. Or you can see here again that investment of 100,000 has become double in this case, and it took 10 years. तो इसका हम approximately जो rate determine कर सकते हैं using rule of 72. So that is again here 7.2. So there is not much difference. So you can have a rough idea about the effective annual rate using the rule of 72. And you can see the effective annual rate, they are increasing with the increasing frequency. Okay, now we are going to solve few of the problems given at the end of the chapter number 3, that is time value of money. हम इसमें सारे problems solve नहीं कर सकते because we have limited time, but this will provide you a good practice. These are all interesting problems and you can solve them by yourself. All you have to do is कि आपने प्रॉब्लम को वेरी केयरफुली स्टडी करना है, एंड देन यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई कि आपने इसमें प्रेजेंट वैल्यूज फाइंड आउट करनी है या फ्यूचर वैल्यूज फाइंड आउट करनी है. समटाइम्स आपको प्रेजेंट वैल्यू का एक बैलेंस दिया गया होगा एंड यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट द कैश फ्लोज बेस्ड ऑन द एन्युटी, and you will be given the interest rate, and also you will be given the number of time periods also, and using all this information you can use the relevant formula and you can use the relevant table, that is table 1, 2, 3 and 4. आप उसको use करते हुए आप इस problem को solve कर सकते हैं. And the important thing is you have to clearly identify the cash flows, and you have to identify whether it is a present value problem or a future value problem. और sometimes इसमें दोनों problems हो सकते हैं. आप एक ही problem के अंदर आपको दोनों calculations करना पड़ सकती हैं. और हम in this lecture we are going to discuss the few problems given at the end. हम problem number 18 से start करते हैं, and let's see how many problems we can solve and what does it states. Problem number 18. It is given at page 66 and chapter number 3. So it says, when you were born, your dear old aunt promised to deposit $1,000 in a savings account for you on each and every year of your birthday. Beginning with your first, the savings account bears a 5% compound annual rate of interest. You have just turned 25 and want all the cash. However, it turns out that dear old aunt made no deposits on your 5th, 7th and 11th birthday. How much is in the account now on your 25th birthday? It says that for your birthday, one of your aunt promised to deposit $1,000 every year starting from your first birthday, and the deposited amount is $1,000. So if we draw a timeline here, so you can see here starting from the first year, and $1,000 is deposited all through 25 years starting from 0, 1 and to 25. अब इसमें after 25 years when you want to withdraw that whole money, you found out that there were 3 payments they were missing that took place at 5th, 7th and 11th birthday. आपकी जो 5th, 7th और 11th बर्थडे जो थी उसके ऊपर जो पेमेंट्स थी of $1,000 they have not been made. So you can see that there are 25 payments, out of which 3 payments they are not made at 5th, 7th and 11th year. अब हमने इसमें कैलकुलेट क्या करना है कि फ्यूचर वैल्यू आफ्टर 25 years जिसको you want to withdraw, that is future value at 25th year. And you can see here this is a case of simple annuity, that is ordinary annuity, and that is the cash flows, the same cash flows, they are occurring at regular intervals, that is at the end of every year for the next 25 years, and the interest rate that is given as 5%. So we can use the annuity formula here, that the cash flow, the periodic cash flow into the future value interest factor of an ordinary annuity at 5% for 25 years. अब इसमें we have calculated for all these missing payments also, and what we are supposed to do is कि हम इन individual payments की जो future value बनती है हम उसको इस total future value में से subtract कर दें. अब हमने जो 25th year पे इसकी future value find out की है using the ordinary annuity, उसमें इन पेमेंट्स की जो कि नहीं की गई थी उनकी फ्यूचर वैल्यू भी ऐड है और हम इसको सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे एंड देन वी विल बी एबल टू गेट द फ्यूचर वैल्यू आफ्टर 25 years ऑफ ऑल दीज पेमेंट्स. तो उसको हम सब्ट्रैक्ट कर देंगे एंड वी विल यूज दिस फार्मूला, दैट इज फॉर द 5th year's पेमेंट विच वाज नॉट मेड, उसकी हम वैल्यू फाइंड आउट करेंगे फॉर द 20 years बिकॉज we have 20 periods involved starting from the 5th year to 25th period. So we will calculate the future value interest factor for at 5% for 20 years, and then इसके लिए हम टेबल यूज करेंगे टेबल 2 और इसके लिए हम टेबल यूज करेंगे टेबल 1. And then for the 7th year payment which was not made, we will subtract it from our calculation, that is future value interest factor at 5% for how many periods? 7 to 25, it makes 18 periods. And again for the payment which was not made at the end of 11th year जिसको हमने यहाँ पे initially add किया हुआ है, we will subtract it using this calculation, future value interest factor at 5% for how many years? Starting from 11 to 25, we have 14 periods, and for all these calculations we use table 1, and for the first calculation which is an ordinary annuity we will use the table 2, and we will have this figure. I have calculated it for you. So if you solve for all these calculations using the table 2 and table 1, so you will get an answer which is equal to $40,687. You can solve them separately, or you can take this 1000 आउट एज अ कॉमन मल्टीप्लायर और उसके बाद आप इस फ्यूचर वैल्यू इंटरेस्ट फैक्टर को फाइंड करें माइनस दिस फ्यूचर वैल्यू इंटरेस्ट फैक्टर, देन माइनस फ्यूचर वैल्यू इंटरेस्ट फैक्टर फॉर 8 years एंड देन फ्यूचर वैल्यू इंटरेस्ट फैक्टर फॉर 14 years. आप इनको अलहदा से सब्ट्रैक्ट करके यू कैन मल्टीप्लाई इट विद 1000 एंड यू विल गेट दिस फिगर, दैट इज आफ्टर 25 years you will be able to withdraw $40,687. Now we are going to solve problem number 19. Let's see how it states. Assume that you will be opening a savings account today by depositing $100,000. The savings account pays 5% compound annual interest, and this rate is assumed to remain in effect for all future periods. 4 years from today, you will withdraw all dollars. That is, after 4 years, that is at the end of 4th year, आप उसमें से पहला कैश विदड्रॉ करेंगे, that is denoted as R. You will continue to make additional annual withdrawals of R dollars for a while longer, making your last withdrawal at the end of 9 years to achieve the following pattern of cash flow over time. So you can see here it is given in the problem over a timeline. If you see starting from 0 to 9, you can see the first withdrawal that took place at the end of 4th year, and it continues till the end of 9th year. And how large must R be to leave you with exactly a zero balance after your final R withdrawal is made at the end of year 9? अब आपने R का कितना बैलेंस आप हर साल इसमें से विदड्रॉ करें कि आपका जो फाइनल विदड्रॉल है, दैट इज आफ्टर दैट विदड्रॉल आपका जो बैलेंस है दैट बिकम्स इक्वल टू 0. अब इसमें उसने एक टिप दिया हुआ है, मेकिंग यूज ऑफ एन एन्युटी टेबल और फार्मूला will make you work a lot easier. अब इसमें we can solve it using an ordinary annuity. Let's draw it here. We have problem number 19, and this is the timeline which is given to us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. And the first withdrawal took place at the end of 4th year, and it continued till the 9th year. And we are supposed to find out the value for R कि जब उसकी final withdrawal हो at the end of 9th year, तो उस वक्त उसके पास balance जो बचे that should be equal to 0. So what should be the value of R? And we know कि initial deposit is given as $100,000. That means कि present value is equal to $100,000. अब हम you can see here कि starting from this year all the way to 9th year, it is the form of an annuity, because हमने according to this problem we have to assume that R is same for all the years. Now we can calculate the present value of all these R's at the year 3. Present value at the year 3, and then again we calculate the present value of this sum to P naught, and that P naught as we are given is equal to $1,000. अब हमारे पास present value है which is given as $100,000, and we calculate the present value of an ordinary annuity for R payments, that is present value interest factor of an ordinary annuity with 5% interest rate for 6 number of years. It becomes R into this present value interest factor. We will be using table 4 here, and then for this amount we will calculate the present value interest factor for the single sum for 3 years at 5%. So if we look at the table 4, so we can see here for present value interest factor of an ordinary annuity at 5% for 6 years, it is under 5% for 6 years, it is equal to 5.076. We have R into 5.076, and we will use table 2 in case of present value interest factor for a single sum for 5 years. Now we have 3 years, because from the 3rd year we have to bring it back to P naught, that is the present value. So now we have 3 years. For 5% it is equal to 0.864. 0.864. And now if we solve it for R would be equal to 100,000 divided by 0.5076 into 0.864, and if you solve for it you will get R equal to 22,799.82 dollars. So it means कि आप हर साल starting from 4th year, if you withdraw an amount equal to 22,799, then at the end of 9th year you will have exactly zero balance in the account. And now let's solve for the problem number 20. That is, problem 20 says that suppose that an investment promises to pay a nominal 9.6% annual rate of interest. What is effective annual interest rate on this investment, assuming that interest is compounded annually, semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, daily, and continuously? Note that report your answers accurate to 4 decimal places. For example, 0.0987 or 9.87%. So now we have to find out the effective annual rate given the annual interest rate. हमें जो given है that is an annual interest rate, और जब हम उसको compounding frequency उसकी increase करेंगे from annual to semi-annual to quarter to monthly, then daily, and then continuously. And for the continuous basis it means maybe on hour basis, that is a unit less than 1 day even. So that will be continuous. So we have to find out the effective annual interest rate, and for that we have a formula which is equal to the effective annual rate, which is equal to 1 plus I over m whole power m minus 1. And now we are going to calculate the effective annual interest rate on annual, semi-annual, quarterly, monthly, daily, and continuous basis. So for the on annual basis, the effective annual interest rate should remain the same. It becomes like 1 plus, we have 9.6% interest rate divided by m is the number of periods, which is 1 in this case, whole power the number of periods, which is again 1 minus 1. So we solve for it and we get 9.6%. That is, effective annual rate in case of annual compounding remains the same. So this was annual frequency, that is annual compounding, and if you have semi-annual, we have effective annual interest rate equal to 1 plus 9.6% divided by 2. Now we have 2 number of periods in 1 year. So the compounding frequency becomes 2 here minus 1, and if we solve for it we get 9.6%, that is 0.096 divided by 2 plus 1 whole power 2, it becomes 1.098 something minus 1. We have 0.0983 or 9.83%. And accordingly, if we solve it on quarterly basis, we have the effective annual rate is equal to 1 plus 9.6% divided by, now the number of periods, they have become 4 in 1 year because we are taking quarter. So there are 4 quarters in 1 year, and then whole power 4, that is the number of periods. We have to compound it minus 1. We get 0.096 divided by 4 plus 1 whole power 4 minus 1. This is equal to 0.0995 or 9.95%. And now if we solve it on monthly basis, the effective annual rate becomes 1 plus 9.6% divided by 12. Now there are 12 months in 1 year, so we divide it with 12, and now the number of periods, they have become 12, and the compounding frequency has gone to 12 now. So we calculate it for 12%, for 12 months, it would become 0.096 divided by 12, that is number of months, plus 1 and whole power 12 minus 1, we have 0.1003, it means 10.03%. And now we solve it on daily basis. If we compound it on daily basis, how much is the effective annual rate? You can use your scientific calculator and you can solve it easily, and you can solve it for 9.6% divided by, there are 365 days in 1 year, so we compound it with the same frequency. Now we have a power of 365 minus 1, so we calculate it 0.096 divided by 365 plus 1 whole power 365, we have, and then minus 1, we have 0.1007 or 10.07%. And then for continuous basis, it means we have the compounding frequency even less than a day. So in this case, the effective annual rate becomes e raised to power, and in this case the effective annual rate becomes e raised to power I minus 1, because जब हम फ्रीक्वेंसी को इंक्रीज करते चले जाते हैं तो it tends to become equal to e. E has a value of 2.718 something. तो अब हम इसको रिप्लेस करेंगे e को इसकी वैल्यू से, and then we solve for it, and we have e's value is given as 2.71828 whole power I, that is the interest rate is given as 9.6% minus 1, and if we solve for it, we have minus 1, we have 10075 or 10.76%. So you can see here, as you increase the compounding frequency, the effective annual interest rate also increases. And to calculate the e's power with any number, that is, in this case we have e with power I. So on your scientific calculator, if you locate, there is written e with a dot on it or any mark on it. So you can just use, for example, the calculator I have. If I press shift button and I locate e with the power as given as dot, so that dot, in fact, I have to give a value for that. So in this case, e's power is 9.6%, so it will become 0.096, and I have 1.10075, and I deduct 1 from it, I get 0.100759, and I can write it as 10.76%. So the compounding frequency increases and the effective annual interest rate also increases. So this was all for today, and you are supposed to solve all these problems by yourself. They are very easy, very simple, and inshallah you will be provided the solutions for them as well, so you can compare what you have solved with those solutions also. But before that, please try to solve them by yourself, and when you encounter some problems, in that case you can polish your skills, or you can try to find out different ways to solve the problems, and that is the best way to learn the time value of money chapter. So in today's lecture we just revised the concepts in chapter number 3 and also solved few of the problems given at the end. I did not solve all of the problems because they are very simple and very interesting problems. आपने इनको solve करना है, and you might face some problems, or because they are very interesting problems, so when you face any problem you will think of different alternates and different set of calculations, and gradually you will be able to solve all these problems. And that's all for today. Inshallah, see you in the next lecture. Till then, Assalamu alaikum.